Blah. Go on, fat cat. How are you? Huh? You can come rub your butt. And your face can do weird things. Oh yeah, face does weird things. Face does weird things. Face does weird things. Oh boy. All right. Hello everyone. Welcome. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I got distracted by cat butts. Sorry for the 30-second show earlier. Yeah, monkey butt popped a stitch. Decided to drip drop, insides of her, outside of her, and had to race her down to the vet. And then they just, they're like, well, don't let her do that. And so we wrapped her up real good. And hopefully that is all she needs. So, anyway, the news. GME got a little puny pop today. I'm really kicking myself because I should have bought... I've been, seeing the implied volatility really low. And I'm just hoping that, it would last through at least next week. And then I was going to load up on call options for, April 17th. And decided to go up 10% today, and I would have made 60-70% on my investment if I just bought Friday. Oh well, we'll see where it goes. What's happening? The courts are jumping in and forcing Elon and company to say, whoa, you cannot just arbitrarily, get rid of USAID, Department of Education, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, FDIC. If a calamity like 2008 happened, where Wachovia, Washington Mutual, big banks like that go down, and then you got a whole bunch of regional banks, your Sterling Savings, your American Marine, whatever, we had hundreds and hundreds of banks fail in 2008, 2009. We had a whole bunch of banks fail in the last 2 years here. Most significantly, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank. All these banks have just gone puny pop. And they want to get rid of FDIC, which is the insurance that guarantees your accounts are safe if a bank goes belly up. And we are on the precipice of having a whole bunch of banks go belly up, and they're trying to nuke FDIC right now. So imagine what would happen if, say, a bank the size of Bank of America implodes, where you've got trillions of dollars of deposits, and it's just gone. What would that do to the American economy? What would that do to a third of the human beings in this country? It would blink them out of existence. And they want to get rid of the FDIC? Probably one of the smartest, most easy dunks we ever did as a country from the Great Depression. Are we trying to just roll everything back to the point that there is no safety net for when things inevitably go wrong, which they're trying to make go wrong in a very grand fashion right now? Just bonkers, man. So anyway, the courts are finally doing something. It'll come down to whether the Trump administration actually obeys the courts. The courts may have to rein in the U.S. Marshal Service from the Justice Department, because the marshals are supposed to do what the courts want them to do, but they've been sort of, put under the purview of the attorneys general. But yeah, they may have to send the marshals after certain members of this cabinet to force them to stop doing things. That punk kid, the 19-year-old who was working to attach the servers to the Treasury and everything up to private Elon servers, that kid was fired from an internship at a security firm for leaking corporate details to a competitor. He also is a member of a hacking criminal organization called The Calm, which specializes in sexually extorting children. To go with the fact that we have a guy who, in that same group, who forgot to scrub his comment history on Nazi websites. Oops. We did no vetting. We did no background checks. These people weren't approved by Congress, and they're in there. They tried to force their way into the World Bank last week. Like, Ford doing like, give us access to your computers. And the World Bank's like, who the hell are you? Or DOGE. And the World Bank's like, you have nothing to do with us. Get the fuck out of here. And then the security guards who are keeping members of Congress from going to those buildings work for Blackwater. So, yeah, we are speed running societal collapse here at a pace that just blows my mind. Anywho, bam. All right. Turn off the intro. There we go. It's off. Casey Chapman was first. Good job, Casey. I don't know why you got the white guy thumbs going, though. Those are my thumbs. Those aren't your thumbs. Casey Chapman, the docket MB stitched up. They decided not to stitch her up. They just said keep her wrapped and like wearing basically a diaper. It should be cool. And Kelly Reed was second. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. U.S. job growth misses expectations in January. Unemployment rate at 4%. It appears as though Trump wants to make the unemployment rate go up significantly more. He said something to that effect today where he wants to make the job market more competitive for job seekers, thus reducing everyone's pay, and that's how he's going to defeat inflation, by making sure you guys don't get paid very much. So, Kelly Reed, also Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to close a no more oversight for banks. Trump really speed railing this economy into a depression. Oh, and no more FDIC if your bank fails. Too bad. Also, Trump's new tariffs proves he can't count to 30. I've seen lots of reports, people that they ordered their fast fashion clothes from Shane or whatever, and their clothes arrived and they're expected to pay like $80 in tariffs to the postman who won't accept a credit card. You got to pay with like cash or check or a purchase order. Oops. Yeah, this is what's happening to you guys. It's happening. So get ready for it. Bob Cliffius or Cliffius. You're fifth. Bob all says, "Hey, hope everything's well with Monkey Butt. She's doing okay. You can't really see her, and she's behind the fat cat on the floor, sleeping. She's very good at that. So the vet was like, is she sleeping all right? And like, she sleeps all the time. That's like good. That means she's not in too much pain. Because if they're not sleeping, that means they're in a lot of pain. It's like, okay, all right. We're down. We're not using the really powerful painkiller anymore. We're just down to the gabapentin. I think that's what it's called. Every 8 hours or so, and she's doing all right. Other than like popping that stitch and dripping everywhere, and forcing us to clean the floors and all that. First Day Productions 6 had Houston glad monkey butt stop bleeding. Yes, monkey butt did stop bleeding. What's up with Tulsi? My military connection says she still has top secret clearance and runs a battalion. Yeah, she's still lieutenant colonel in the reserves. Yeah, it sounds like the Republicans are gonna make her the head of the DNI. Oops. The director of national intelligence, the person who like pulls together all the intelligence data from all of our intelligence agencies and then presents it to Trump. We're gonna make a lady who has very serious issues with being good buddies with very hostile actors in Syria, Russia, Hungary, India. Not good. Not good to like, out of all the people in the United States you could pick, you pick somebody who doesn't work for the United States to be your director of national intelligence. Yeah, and the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries went out and gave a speech today where he's like, what are we supposed to do about it? When the Republicans are a minority, somehow they're a pain in the ass and the Democrats can't get anything passed. And when the Democrats are a minority, they just lay there and get steamrolled by the Republicans. Maybe the Democrats should raise a stink. Maybe they should like go punch a security guard in the face in front of one of these federal buildings. Do something. Anything. Get mean. Be dicks. scream and yell, start fights. Like, remember a couple months ago when the president of Korea tried to overthrow the government and make a dictatorship, and people stormed the parliament and like fought the military police, and we're like, no, you can't do that. Like, if you're going to fight and you're part of the fascist regime, expect pushback. But the fascist regime fights, and like, no, pushback that's wrong. We're gonna let all the J6 people out who tried to overthrow the government violently when they lost an election. Now we're going to use those same people to squash the minority. Like, you'll hear Trump say things like, I want a mandate. No, you didn't. He didn't even get 50% of the vote. He is the squeakiest election almost ever in terms of like vote difference. I think the only one that was closer was the Bush administration loss/win over Gore, where he got fewer votes than Gore, but somehow got more electoral votes because Florida's messed up. So yeah, they didn't get a mandate. They have the smallest majority in the House history. And there were more votes for the Democrats in the House than there were for the Republicans sitting there. So no, like, he did not get a majority. More people voted for the Democrats in the Senate than the Republicans, but there's more Republicans in the Senate because the Senate is messed up in how we allocate seats. So anytime they say that we have a mandate, no. And when you have a mandate, doesn't mean like, hey, I can now violate the entire Constitution and do whatever the hell I want, and you can't do anything about it because mandate. That's not how it works. They're Mein Führer. So, The Dems really need to grow a pair. Actually, not the Dems need to grow a pair. The Dems need some ovaries because the men in the Democratic Party do not have the stones to do this. They don't have the fortitude or the guts. It happens to be like ladies who are members of the squad. Those chicks know how to fight, and they need to be put into positions of power inside the Democratic leadership structure so that they can change the culture. You just can't have guys like Chuck Schumer being like, oh, someone should do something, and Hakeem Jeffries being like, I don't know what to do. Fortitude, gumption, guts. That's what they need. So anyway, Tulsi sucks. David Hashemi, Houston. I got an electrical engineering grad, 8 months looking for a job. These QQQ NVIDIA calls is the only thing keeping me alive at the moment. Help, the world is burning. Should I do a master's in semiconductor packaging development or move the hell out of states altogether? Lucky ducky, I have dual citizenship in Germany and the US. Well, Germany's economic prospects at the moment not looking too hot. Their manufacturing sector is imploding in on itself. So I don't know if you necessarily had the same job prospects if you did go back to Germany, but if you were in Europe, at least you're in Europe, and you might avoid whatever hell hath come as a result of the Trump administration here. So can't hurt. I mean, if anything, go get a master's in Germany. You don't pay tuition in Germany, so you get living stipend and do that. And then maybe, Germany goes, and figures things out again. And they're back being like the German juggernaut. So I'll try it. Cran Green says 12 foot. Yeah. Citizen 54, President Musk and his servant Trump claim the courts cannot overrule them. They are also claiming that treasury bonds are no good. We the people may have to invest in pitchforks and spikes. Enough. Any lawyer like J.D. Vance who claims that the courts do not have jurisdiction over determining whether an action by the presidency is legal or not should lose their law license. That should be a simple if you don't believe that this system of checks and balances and the three branches of government are a valid thing, you don't get to practice law anymore. Go bag groceries. J.D. Vance should lose his law degree for that one. they don't want the courts ruling on any of this unless it rules in their favor. If it rules in their favor, then they're fine with the courts. This is how, you know, dictatorship works. If it's against their favor, they're going to figure out a way to punish that federal judge, and then put their own people in place to rubber stamp everything they do. This is a dictatorship. That we are in the steady progression to that authoritarian state where everyone just rubber stamps what the leader puts down. And I mean, it's silly. Like 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2014, whatever. Like Trump spent so much time accusing Obama of being born in Africa. And now he's got a dude who's born in Africa running the entire country for him into the ground. That's a little hypocritical, you think? Just a smidge. So this is the problem with black people from Africa. White people from Africa can do whatever they want because they believe in segregation and apartheid and all that. But black people who may be from Africa, no. Oh, gross. They don't know what they're doing. How dare they fix the economy after the global financial crisis and create the longest job growth run in American history. They weren't white. And that's kind of where it's coming from. Lapatron, 45 dislikes. What's up with haters? We got 45 dislikes on this channel already? Fantastic. Fun. Dee says, hi Houston. Hi, Monkey Butt. Hi, Monkey Butt. And she's still motionless down there. Rose Moon, Houston, I have an advanced stats exam tomorrow. Don't know shit. Well, it's, is it about midterm for you right now? Let's see here. What we got over here? We got, are you using a version of this book? Research Methods and Statistics, Critical Thinking Approach. Pretty. This is. I mean, I've had to take a version of this book through undergrad, 2 different grad programs so far, maybe a third, and this is the guy here. Thing about statistics courses is when you take the course, you got to do the crap the teacher wants you to do. What the teacher never explains to you, and this is when I've taught a statistics course, is that 90% of this book, who gives a shit? You need mean, mode, median, right? Standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, confidence interval. That's it. Anything else? Useless, worthless, who gives a crap? Like, there are so many word problems in here where they, like, find out some incremental little doodad dilly, and it is just stupid. Stupid. Mean, mode, median, confidence interval, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis. That's basically it. Yeah. And if you're doing polls, you may have to do the math on, like, you know, the error. Okay. So there's like 7, 8 things total that should be about 15 pages. Should be a pamphlet. A statistics course should be a pamphlet that you take, you know, for like 3 weeks. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to do a lot of bullshit on whatever statistics class you have, and hopefully it'll be open book, open note, because there's no excuse. If you meet any statistician, they open a book to figure this stuff out because no one remembers it. Except for maybe the guy who wrote the book. Even then, he probably crack it open every once in a while. Yeah. Lord Jameson. Hi, HW. Will the human flu vaccine be at all effective against bird flu? This year's flu vaccine, no. This year's flu vaccine is for, I think, flu A and flu B. But no, there's no bird flu vaccine yet. That's completely different. And there's 2 big types of bird flu working their way through birds and mammals right now. The second version, which we just found in cattle, has infected a guy in a cattle facility in Nevada, and outlook is not good for him. So, Corporal Walnut, your name is Houston, but it's pronounced Chad. Chad. The one guy I knew named Chad was a mountain of a man. Big, giant, like, I'm 6'4". He was probably 6'6", maybe, just shoulders like this, and not what you picture of like Chad. Like he's a cool dude, but he's very much like worked on tractors, rebuilt lawnmowers. Just not your Chad Chad. He's giant, but not the type of Chad you think of like Chad Chadwick III. So, I don't know what Chad's up to. Did a friend of mine, did they get married? I can't remember. It's been a while. I haven't seen them in a long time. I'll have to ask. I went to school with a kid named Shad. That was different. Antonio Baez, part of their plan is to ignore the courts. Exactly. Rosemoon, if stream is shorter tonight, might I suggest New York Times, Games, Wordle, Connections, or the mini letterbox, etc. Okay, noted. Wordle. Joshua Auden, tuberculosis is on the rise to add to the chaos. Oh yeah, it's at record highs in like Kansas, and it's like spreading into other Midwestern states. We're just, how friggin' frontier medieval do we have to get? I talked about my oldest sister. She's anti-vax, and she kind of had her brain rotted a little bit by the YouTube algorithm when COVID hit. But she's like very anti-vax. She's like, measles never hurt anybody. I survived measles. I'm like, no, you did really poorly with measles when you were little. But like I was pointing out to her that the infant and child mortality rate, meaning kids under 5 who died, right? In the 1800s, 42+% of all children died before the age of 5. 42%. 42%. Out of 1,000 children, more than 420 of them would die before the age of 5. From 1900 to 1963, over 200 million children worldwide died from measles. 200 million. We're talking 4 to 6 million measles deaths a year prior to 1963. If you go to your town, I don't care where you are in the world, go to your town, walk through a cemetery that's got gravestones pre-1960, and just look at how many teeny tiny little baby graves there are. How many kids, children, babies were just dying. Like, you know, here lies Emily, 1901 to 1904. She was loved. And the little headstone, right? The graveyards were full of them because you didn't even have a 60% chance of making it to 5 years old if you were born in the 1800s. The infant mortality rate, meaning the babies that died, 1 in 7 babies just were born dead. 1 in 7. Right now it's like 1 in 400. 1 in 250. So it went from 1 in 7 in 1900 to 1 in 250 today, where there is not a viable birth from a baby. So why on earth are we trying to like throw that sucker into reverse and be like, let's get tuberculosis and typhoid and cholera and bring back all the cool diseases. Let's just kill off huge swaths of population so that we have no consumers, and all of our companies that depend upon rampant and sudden and constant growth can't have any because everyone's dead. So who's going to buy our stuff and make it and whatever else? I do not understand the brains going on, these tech bros that are like, let's go back to the Middle Ages. That was awesome. Because guess what happened in the Middle Ages? Even the rich people died. Yeah, the rich people died from preventable deaths too. Why? Because we didn't have vaccines for anybody. Well, the rats were everywhere. Things were gross. Trash wasn't getting picked up. Like, if you don't believe in vaccines, you don't believe in masks, you don't believe in social distancing protection, here's what I say. You find somebody who you know has a sexually transmitted disease, AIDS, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, whatever, and you have unprotected sex with them and see how it turns out. Do you want it? Do you want the protection? Do you want to like? Do you want the HPV virus, human papilloma virus? That's a fun one to have. Get throat cancer, or you know, can't wait. They get like cancer in the ovaries, all sorts of stuff from that. It's horrible. So like, they just need just just freaking look at the past, right? Infant mortality was 30 times greater 125 years ago. Babies had a what 3,000% chance greater of dying at being born. It's ridiculous how much death and destruction there was. So yeah, TB's on the rise because we're just a bunch of medieval monkeys, man. Brandon Wells, sup? BBBY, no labs. No labs. They're officially protested the removal from New York Stock Exchange, and they've got their new system for doing licensing. That's what they have out last week. BBBY. Latest numbers look like there's about $4 billion in recoveries and $2 billion in claims. So depending on what the number of shares that actually existed, the payout could be pretty decent. I mean, if it's 4 billion recoveries, 2 billion in payouts, and there's 100 million shares, that's like $20 a person. That's not too shabby. You know, it's a start, right? I'd want more than that, but it's a start. And 9, Trump, when asked if Vance would be a successor, he said no. Incoming Trump third term attempts. Yeah, Trump he's gonna have to get 25th Amendmented. That's the only way he's coming out of office. Even then, he'll put up a fight. So everyone around him is gonna have to really be sure about what they're doing. Frozen Productions. Does that mean Tulsi is a DEI hire? It's a funny thing is like everyone. These guys saw Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. There was so much symbolism in that. Holy smokes! I mean, you had the American flag made up of black dancers. It was divided, and at one point, they all like individual parts of the flag collapsed into basically human swastikas on the ground, and you know, definitely dragged Drake. That's for sure. But they were showing that like, hey, the revolution's coming. You got the wrong man in charge for it. I thought it was pretty brilliant artistic thing. Kendrick Lamar isn't my favorite rapper. I like his raps. His voice kind of bothers me. It's a little too high for me. But he's a very, very talented poet. Won a Pulitzer for it. The fact I saw a joke that was like Serena Williams spent more time on the field for the Super Bowl than Harrison Butker did. But yeah. But people were like, that was a DEI Super Bowl. Dude, 75% of the NFL players are black. Right? All the white people, starting 10 years ago, were like, boycott the NFL. Yeah, don't take a knee. I'll never watch the NFL again. So, okay. Then why would they make a Super Bowl performance for the people that are saying they're going to boycott you? Right? Like, so if you're trying to say that Kendrick Lamar, who has 22 Grammys, best-selling artist, most listened to song on Spotify, has a Pulitzer Prize, is a DEI hire, when in reality, a DEI would be like finding some white dancers to go in there and be like, you're not as good as these other dancers, but we got a quota to fill. That's basically what everyone's claiming is happening with DEI. But Tulsi Gabbard is just a complete sellout. So she'll do whatever her masters tell her to do because that's her job. She's a member of a cult, of the Butler Group cult, and that cult is very demanding, and she will do whatever Chris Butler tells her to do. So if Chris Butler is aligned with these other foreign bad actors and with Trump, then she's on board because she's in a cult. And there's always a fine line between cult and religion. Some religions are more culty than others, like that are mainstream. But she is definitely 100% in a cult. I know those folks. I lived with those folks in Hawaii. They are insane. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Are you a dog? Yeah, are you a dog with a big old diaper in your butt? Everyone can see right there in the corner. That dog butt diaper with a stumpy little leg. Huh? Do you want... Oh, you're looking at the thing. Okay. All right, we've done one of these. Should we do one of these? Yeah? Oh, the kitten's in your way, isn't it? Okay. Ourselves a little pig ear. A little pig ear. Boop. All right, come on. Yeah, come get it. Yeah, come get it, monkey. Fat cat's gonna try and get it, but you're not allowed to get it, fat cat. That's for the monkey butt. Come on. Get your little nose in there. Come on. It's right there. Just reach for it. Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. Gentle treat taker of all time. Oh crap. Oh, I missed some super chat. Stephanie L. Should the Earth's core changing shape or humanity? Had another fatal plane crash in Arizona tonight. Is this because of Trump? Well, the number of fatal accidents, near accidents, and non-fatal accidents that have happened over the past couple weeks is alarming. I do think there's a direct result of them cutting air traffic controllers and not replacing them, and removing the leadership structure and replacing those with folks who don't know what they're doing at the FAA and NTSB and everything else. We're going to see more of that. Air travel is going to go from the safest mode of transportation in America to probably not the safest mode of transportation. If we have air traffic controllers doing the jobs of 2, 3, 4 people, things are going to get a lot more dangerous. At any moment in the United States, 300,000 people are suspended in the air. So basically, take like the city of Cincinnati and just put them in the sky over America. That's how many people are in an airplane right now overhead at any time of the day. That's bonkers to think about. 300,000 people. That's what, about 0.1% of everybody in America is in the air at any one time. Can you imagine that kind of juggling that takes? There were lots and lots of air collisions that happened in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And finally, they're like, oh, well, we need to create an air traffic control system to make sure these planes stop crashing into each other. Because they're flying at great rates of speed. You don't have the best visual around you to make sure everything's going on. You don't have the warning of sounds. You're just flying along and bam, that's it. And so they created the air traffic control system, and it worked so well that it spread throughout the world and everybody uses it now. There's a reason why if you become a commercial pilot on planet Earth, you have to speak English. You cannot be a commercial pilot and not speak English. You have to take all your flight exams in English, because English has become the standard language for flight control. So whether you're flying for Air Abu Dhabi or you're flying for Thai Airways, you're speaking English if you're a pilot, because we invented this system that we're currently dismantling. And why are we dismantling it? Fuck if I know. I don't know how you benefit by making air travel worse for everyone. What good does that do anybody? What does it do for your economy if people can't fly because they're just going to die? What does it do for your airline stocks, for your Boeing stock prices, for Airbus stock prices, for Lockheed, for anyone like Bombardier, Cessna, Gulfstreams? If you're a rich guy and you have a $60 million G5, and you're like, all of a sudden you might as well just flip a coin when you go into the sky, because there could be a United Airlines flight on your exact flight path that's going to intercept you. Like, what? I don't understand, man. What good it is to dismantle all that, but we're doing it. So, because of Trump, yeah, I would say so. I'd say that this is reversing exactly how they've made it reverse. This is the instance of the person with schizophrenia who's perfectly fine on their meds being like, I don't take those meds anymore, I'm fine. And then going, blah. That's where we are. So, okay. Where was I? United States of America. Lucre Speed. An article that scientists found evidence of negative time. Your thoughts? Negative time? Evidence of negative time found in quantum physics. This was September of last year. Physicists showed that photons can seem to exit a material before entering it, revealing observational evidence of negative time. Really? Quantum physicists are familiar with wonky, seemingly nonsensical phenomena. Atoms and molecules sometimes act as particles, sometimes waves. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not. Took a positive amount of time, but our experiment observing that photons can make atoms seem to spend a negative amount of time in the excited state is up. Some physicist from Toronto says. The idea of the work merged in 2017. Time Steinberg and a lab colleague, then doctoral student Josiah Sinclair, were interested in the interaction of light and matter, specifically a phenomenon called atomic excitation, where photons pass through a medium and get absorbed. Electrons swirling around atoms in that medium jump to higher energy levels. When those excited electrons lapse into the original state, they release that absorbed energy as re-emitted photons, introducing a time delay in the light's observed transit time through the medium. Sinclair's team wanted to measure that time delay, which is sometimes simply called a group delay, and learn whether it depends on the fate of that photon. Was it scattered and absorbed inside the atomic cloud, or was it transmitted with no interaction whatsoever? At the time, we weren't sure what the answer was. We felt like such a basic question about something so fundamental should be easy to answer, Sinclair says. But more people we talked to, the more we realized that while everyone had their own intuition or guess, there was no expert consensus on what the right answer would be. Because the nature of these delays can be so strange and counterintuitive, some researchers had written the phenomenon off as effectively meaningless for describing any physical property associated with light. After 3 years of planning, his team developed an apparent apparatus to test this question in the lab. Their experiments involved shooting photons through a cloud of ultra-cold rubidium atoms and measuring the resulting degree of atomic excitation. Two surprises emerged from the experiment. Sometimes photons would pass through unscathed, yet the rubidium atoms would still become excited, and for just as long as if they had absorbed those photons. Stranger still, when photons were absorbed, they would seem to be re-emitted almost instantly, well before the rubidium atoms returned to their ground state, as if the photons on average were leaving the atoms quicker than expected. Huh. Well, I don't know if that means that's negative time as it does, like, chicken the egg type thing. So you take this cloud of rubidium and you fire photons in there, right? Photon hits the atom, the electrons jump to an excited state, and they jump to a lower state and they emit a photon. That's basically that's our model. But maybe photons hit, it jumps to a higher state, and it only lowers to a lower state when it gives off the atom, then it lowers. So maybe we're getting our order of operations here wrong. Maybe it's not the fact that it drops and then lives off an atom. It's the fact that it leaves off an atom and that causes it to, or leaves off the photon, causes it to drop. We'll see. Oh, the Earth's core. Yes, Stephanie L. Sorry. Well, the Earth's core does change shape. The Earth is an oblate spheroid. So it's a sphere, but it's flattened at the poles. So it's actually like wider at the equator than it is along the poles. And it's a bunch of liquid goo. So that liquid goo moving all over the place. It is doing its own thing. It's got all sorts of different inertias in there. So yeah, it will change shape. It will glob and gloop. Some parts will melt. Other parts will get cool. You got, atomic decay happening inside of it, keeping it even hotter, even with all that pressure. So yeah, it's been constantly changing shape and having the poles flip and do that every 60,000 years or whatever it is. I won't be too worried about that. So no, I wouldn't be too worried. Off the Grid Hero, NextBridge Hydrocarbons offered 10 times the royalty, and they still said no. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That came out this weekend. So it was revealed that NextBridge Hydrocarbons, talking to University Lands about the Oro Grande lease, offered them 10 times the royalties that they were previously paying on the land to continue to develop it. And University Lands was like, no. So I do think that this will get to the courts eventually, and University Lands may be forced to give the lease back to NextBridge Hydrocarbons. So that could be coming. Definitely somebody had their thumb on the scale at the University of Lands, forcing them to say no to everything. Yeah, so bad. Rose Moon, thanks, Houston. It's the first exam of the course. It's mostly working with IBM SPSS, so the word problem messed me up. Oh, let's see here. Let's see if we got any examples in here for you. Uh, 397. All right. Let's see if this Houston can remember any of this stuff. It's been a while since I taught this. All right. So Yeah, SPSS is like a Excel sheet thing. Oh yeah, we never had to deal with this crap. I don't think they've made us use this stuff. Okay, it's basically assigning values to columns, right? Yeah. We can use TI-84 to do it too. How fun is that? Basically, like the examples they give here is assigning if someone is a babysitter or not a babysitter and giving them that numerical value. So like if they take in a first aid class, they get a 1. If they have not, they get a 2, and so on. To like categorize who you should hire for things, which, I'm sure it has uses somewhere in life. But yeah, fun. Yay. That's already sounds like the lamest stats course ever in the entire history of man. All you need to do for a stats course is have your students figure out how baseball statistics are calculated. Once you can get them to do that, you can get them to do anything. Just focus on the back of baseball cards, and that should be enough. Like, get them through all of those stats, they'll be fine doing anything else. You can do censuses. They can do population studies. They can do surveys. They'll do anything. If they can calculate the back of a baseball card, then you got yourself a stat master. David Hashemi, you think Houston? That's good advice. I'll look into it. I am trying everything in my power to not get into too much debt over this discussion. Really disheartening to be a young person starting a life. Yeah. David Hashemi also says stats and finance whole major could be written on the index card. It's true. Like maybe a couple index cards and that'd be it. But yeah, it's if you're thinking about going back to school, I say do it in Germany, man. They teach most of those courses in English anyway. You can also look at any American universities in Europe that do the same thing. You don't have to go to Germany. You can go to like Norway or Sweden, where you can also do grad school for free and receive a stipend even as a non-resident. So I say check it out. If anything, it's like, let's say the shit hits the fan in the worst way possible, right? And what are you going to do? You're here in America. The borders are now closed. We're in full-on, martial law or even worse, civil strife, etc. And now you're stuck here, right? Whereas you could be like in Germany, getting a master's degree, furthering education, meeting new people, skiing in the Alps or going sailing on the ocean. I don't know, do whatever you do out there. And then you like turn your TV one day, like, oh wow, man, America is falling apart. Bummer. Glad I'm not there. We had I was in 6th grade, so my sister was in high school, and there was an exchange student from Bosnia who was in my sister's class, and that's when the war broke out. Yugoslavia fell apart, and the war broke out. And he was a student volunteer for my 6th grade science class, and the war broke out when he was in our classroom helping out with our teacher. There was like a principal. The principal came, knocked on the door. She was like, I think his name was like Sergey. She called him over and she explained to him what was happening, and you just saw the look on his face of just like, what? And she actually brought in a TV. They turned on the news, and he watched like his country go to war with everyone, all their neighbors. And he spoke to us. This is like probably a month or two later. About there's part of him was like, I need to go home and like help my family, and his family being like, thank God you're not here, right? Like, thank God one of us made it out of there. And so like, where would you want to be in this? Would you like, I'm gonna be in the front runs and I'm gonna save everything, or would you be like, dodge that bullet? I think it really has to come down to what you want there, I guess. I don't know. Alex Bishop is here. He says hello. Peter Brand says, what's up? Video brand. Doesn't measles like reset your immunity or something? Yeah, 5 years. Basically, if you get measles, it deletes all of your antibody memories for 5 years. So you can get all sorts of other viruses and diseases that you had previously had immunities for. It does an immunal reset. So that's another reason why. And they think COVID may have done the same thing for a lot of people. That people are getting, what were common diseases and flus are getting way worse now than they were before because they had immunal reset from a COVID. Some of the designs on COVID are very similar to HIV in the way it attacks your immune system, and it makes your immune system not be able to combat it for a while. And so I wouldn't doubt if it also translates into other infections not being recognized by your helper T cells and everything else. So, it says 54 bullets never hurt anybody. 50 Cent survived being shot. Yeah, survivor's bias is a huge. You guys know about survivor's bias? So if you're on the internet, sometimes you'll see this picture. So, boom. Bam. Shaboink. Boop. You'll see this guy. This image of that's not showing up. Why are you not showing up? Come on, give me my plane, Wikipedia. So bombers were landing in England, right? After they do a bombing raid over northern France or make their way to Dresden or whatever, and they return to England, and they would land, and they noticed that when the planes landed, they had bullet holes in all these spots and flak marks in all these spots. And like, oh, this is where the planes are getting hit. We should shore up more armor here. And it took a while for someone to point out, like, no, the planes that can get hit here, they can't get hit here, 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 or here. Otherwise, they crash and we don't see them. We're like, what? Survivor's bias. So if you are an anti-vaxxer and you got COVID and you did just fine, you're like, wow, it's fine. Whatever. Congratulations, you got hit in one of these spots, right? But people who didn't get the vaccine and didn't survive, they got hit in one of these spots and that plane went down. So there's a massive survivor's bias with surviving an illness. Unless you really, really were like touch and go, on a intubator or something and then hospitalized and, you have a priest reading your last rites or whatever, like you may not realize how bad it really is out there. If you don't know people who died from this stuff because you're an asshole and you have no social circle, you may not realize just how bad these things can get. So if you see somebody talk about, I don't need vaccines, I'm fine, like you see this image get posted underneath them, this is basically someone pointing out that they've got survivor's bias. Because the people who got hit in these spots, bam, 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 or bam, aren't around to tell us how well they're doing because they're dead. They crashed somewhere over the channel or in a field in central Germany, and that's it. They're gone. Like they cannot tell you how well they're doing. So yeah, that's total 100% there, says before survivor's bias. People can get shot and survive all the time. Look at 50 Cent, right? Like you'll I had a guy, I talk about these things a lot. My icebreaker for my students first day of school: what's your name, where you're from, what's your major, what's your favorite scar? And everyone goes around and tells a scar story. People don't have to tell a scar story if they want to, because some people, it's a lot of trauma, they don't want to talk about it. Other people, they're very proud of the scars they have and the things they survived, and they want to talk about it, right? My first class I ever taught, I had this huge giant former Marine guy, huge, just a mountain of a man. And he's like, yeah, well, in Kosovo, I got shot 6 times, stepped on a landmine, blew off my foot, shot 6 times, was left for dead, and had a Serbian tank run over my head, right? And he like lifted up his shirt, and he's got bullet holes in him, and then he like took off his leg, and his little flappy thing where his like below his knee that his foot attached to, and everyone's like, holy shit, all right? And yeah, he survived 6 gunshot wounds, and a landmine and getting his head run over by a tank, right? The odds of that, very incredible, of surviving all those things. But if anyone's going to do it, he happened to be the one who did it, right? If other people, it takes one bullet and they're done, right? This guy happened to get 9 bullets, 6 bullets, to places that did not matter, apparently. Don't know what the odds of that are, but he is a survivor. He could say, like, oh, you pussy, get shot and you died? What a wuss, right? I am manlier than you. Probably was manlier than everybody else. But, like, other people, they die from that stuff all the time. But they can't tell you. They'd be like, hey, don't get shot. That's a bad thing, right? When you would have people all around who survived it somehow, be like, it's not that big a deal. You know? I have a peanut allergy. Pussy. Eat more peanut butter. I'm fine with peanut butter. Why don't you eat more peanut butter? I'm fine with it, so you should be fine too. Right? That's survivor's bias is a huge thing. And humans do not oftentimes have the ability to sort of extract themselves from the equation to see, like, oh, I'm an outlier in that situation, right? Like, if bird flu comes, it will. When bird flu comes and it starts ravaging the human population, we're going to have, 51% of everyone who's going to get bird flu is going to die at current levels, right? Just imagine the hospitals filling up and no one being able to get treatments whatsoever, and doctors and nurses dying, etc. We'll still have people in that 49%. They're like, I was fine. Oh, well, what the big deal is? Why should we have to, like, wear masks? I'm fine, right? Meanwhile, like, their mom, dad, sister, brother, dog, cat, girlfriend have all died. I'm fine. Ugh. Right? Because they have no ability to think outside themselves until it actually happens to them in a way that they will say, like, if you ever read through the R. Herman Cain Award, which was for the COVID denialists, the anti-vaxxers who've been, died. They won a Herman Cain Award. So very many of the last words those people spoke were, I should have gotten vaccinated. I should have worn a mask. Right? This is them doped up beyond belief. Their O2 levels are like 50%, and they're about to get intubated with a tube down their throat. And the last thing they say to their doctor, their loved ones, whatever, is, I should have gotten vaccinated. And then they're on a machine, and they're on the machine until they die. Right? That is, like, you don't have them in this survivor bias image because they died. So yeah, it's just all right. Joshua Otten, tech serfdom only seen as data generators. Yep. Ross Brown, hey Ross, had a pretty good post today talking about why all these billionaires have gotten in line, why they're all so against immigration and handouts, and they want to, like, just cut everything now because they know that super brilliant AI is coming. AGM is coming, and that it's so much more brilliant and powerful than any human being will be, that a lot of stuff there will be no use for humans to do anymore. And we're going to need things like a universal basic income, or figure out some sort of way to, like, keep us busy in the meantime, because AI will be generating so much content that we won't be able to find the humans inside that content anymore. We'll get overwhelmed by it, which to me just sounds awful. Like, I like having things to do. Maybe not necessarily a job, but I like to have hobbies. I like to go around and have my brain be tickled, right? And if anything that I want to do is now being replaced by some machine, then where's the fun in that? Like, what's life? If the way you kill time in life gets replaced by robots, like, I don't know, cool, the robot made a picture. Yay. Now somebody who likes making pictures can't make a picture. Ooh, the robot made a song. Cool. Now people who make the songs and like making songs can't make songs. Right? Just a weird future. So yeah, it's coming. We're gonna be in the tech serfdom, led by a few oligarchs who control everything. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You got to consume, but you won't have any money to do it. So then you get punished for not having money to consume, and you'll be put in the camps because the AI is not going to break big rocks and small rocks. You are. That's what you're good for, meatbag. Derek Horse catching this late one. Sadage Crumb Man had to reduce hope. Moas can offset. Can't hold the dream much longer. A lot of people are having that sentiment. Like Ryan Cohen needs to pull a trigger on something. Everyone is tired. They're tired. They're angry. You know, the family members are getting ill. People have become experts in fields because they've been to college this entire time, right? It's just let a win happen, dude. You won't end the world by letting a win happen. You won't destroy the company by letting a win happen. If anything, you get more free publicity. Free publicity is the best publicity. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention my friend Zach. Published a poem book. It's available on Amazon. I forgot to put the link in the description. I should probably do that. Shit. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the description for next show. But yeah, check out his book of poetry. Zach and his wife Shawnee take care of Monkey Butt when I go on trips. So I owe them. So by all means, buy as many of those poetry books. Give them away as gifts. It's not Christmas time, but save them for Christmas. I don't know. How about Zach? I just forgot that I put that up there. I should announce that. I was going to announce it the last time I did a show, but I had to rush Monkey Butt off to the vet. Spy 620. Ooh, let's fucking go Houston. BB brand. There's 1,100 to 1,400 private plane crashes every year. They are signal boosted right now. We just ignored them before. BB brand says, poor monkey. May she soon be trotting the city in nomming free treats. We did a loop. Her last big bad drug was Friday night. And so Saturday, I took her on a loop through town. We got to see all of her friends for the first time in a couple weeks. And oh my goodness, they gave her so many treats. Just treats after treats. Like every store I went into, they gave her treats and then like gave me a fistful. Like, this is for later. So my pockets are just full of them. But yeah, she was very happy to see all of her friends. That's like her favorite thing in the world is to go see her buddies at all the shops and like hop in there now and she's like, look at my stump. Wag, 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 give me a treat. And then if you are at a shop and you get monkey treats, you have to pet her before you give the treat. She's once you give the treat, she's like next and she's already on her way. So if you're gonna get any like loving, you have to get it in before you give her the treat. Tony Tran, if plane crashes into Trump, can we just blame it on him? Who's volunteering? PGHW, if you make it this far, I order something that requires a tariff upon delivery. Can I deny it, or is it mandatory, or just a dumb question? Confusing me. No, you can say I don't want it and demand, and then they'll ship it back, and you can demand a refund from the seller. The seller may not give you a refund because they're probably in China, so they're like, who gives a shit, right? Screw you, free money. But yeah, you can refuse delivery. It will get returned to sender. And I don't know, you might get penalized for it. I'm not sure how that would work, but yeah, you can deny it. Captain Jimmy Wilder, Houston, can you give pros and cons to transferring an expert hydrocarbons to AST? Is selling an issue? Trying to decide if I leave Fidelity or DRS. I transferred for one main reason, and that is in the S1, original S1 that was filed. The company implied they were going to give out a digital asset at some point. They had talked about they were working with people who created T0 about a digital asset. They were going to spin off this NewCo company. And the way I saw it was if you were an AST, you would get your digital token shares, your tokenized shares, and that would force a squeeze on the stock price everywhere else. And those digital tokens would fly through the roof because all the people that were in Fidelity or Schwab or whatever with their shares, the shorts would owe them those tokens. And the only way they get those tokens is to pay me for them. So that's why I transferred over. That's because they're like, all right, if they're going to dish these tokens, the only way they're going to get them is if they pay me a lot of money for those tokens. I have no idea if that's in the plans now. It seems like they want to do something like that in the future, but I think they're fighting over this university lands thing a whole bunch. It's taking up their time. But that was my main reason. The chill face. I'm seeing all the stuff about Elon violating FERPA by accessing people's student loan info, and because of it, people can request loan relief. Any truth to that? Apparently, it's in the law that if your privacy is ruined by an unauthorized third party, that violates FERPA, and you can request loan relief, which can include dismissal. I'm not sure who you would send that to, because apparently they dismantled the Department of Education, which oversaw this. And but yeah, apparently you can write a letter to the overseers of that and be like, hey, they broke the rules, pay me. And they will erase some or all of your student loans as a result. So yeah. First impressions, any new news on quantum portals? I don't think so. I know that there was scientists that claimed they had done a teleportation utilizing a quantum computer, but the level of teleportation that has been done with the quantum computer is the exact same that was done by the Niels Bohr Institute in like 2003. So nothing new there. I still don't think they'll be able to teleport anything that's alive, only inert stuff, because you got to maintain these electrical impulses in your cabeza, and I don't think quantum computers will be able to do that. Kalo Morris. Houston. Trump isn't concerned about anything but himself. Truth. He'll dismantle anything and everything until the point it affects him, and then he'll stop. Yeah, he's the type of guy that like burns down his own house and is upset that the fire department show up because he fired the fire department. Where are they? You got rid of them. But I was saving money. But they're still not here? Right? Like, yes. Citizen 54, would a general strike just give Trump what he wants? No. Because Trump does pay attention to criticism. Very much. So if we were to do a general strike and shut everything down, and he can't get his McDonald's like he wants because all the McDonald's employees are like, I'm out. Then yes, he'll be like, oh, consequences to my actions. Maybe I should change my behavior to get what I want. And we should have had a general strike a dozen times in the last 20 years. And we should do it now. We should do a general strike. Everyone just shut down everything, right? Eat your canned food for a week. Just shut down everything. Don't barter, don't sell, don't drive. Just hang out at home. And after 5, 6, 7 days, and they see just how much we can shut down everything. Buses aren't running, planes aren't running, trains aren't running. The sewage isn't getting clean, the trash isn't getting picked up. Just shut it all down. Every last thing. Then yeah, there might be some change of behavior. Off Good Hero says I smell crime. Well, with the next bridge in University Lands, yeah. First Day Productions, have you seen TR3B? What did you see in the canyon when the guy smiled and waved? I still don't know exactly what I saw. There was a Boeing jet that looked kind of similar. It was like an X series of some kind. I don't remember where it was, but TR3B. Let's see here. Images. TRB3 is... No, it wasn't this. If this is what it is. Is it the fictional anti-gravity plane? No, it wasn't this. This is what's popping up here. I forget what that Boeing plane was. It was an X something. Top secret Boeing. Maybe it was Lockheed. Shit. This guy. The bird of prey. It was kind of some, I'm trying to think because it's 22 years ago. It was kind of like this, except it didn't have as mirrored a window because I could clearly see the dude in it. And I could clearly see that he was looking at me. The window seems like it was bigger to me. This was it flying. And it seemed more black than this too, but it was kind of early morning, so the light was weird. Yeah. This is the closest I've seen this bird of prey, but Still not exactly. I think in my brain it had a little more wing to it, uh, like between the nose and this weird tail thing. There's like more wing to it here. I do think it was tailless. I really wish we had cell phone cameras back then, because I'd been like fumble, 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 click, 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 click. But there was not. I did not have a digital camera of any kind to take a picture of it. But yeah, it was very quiet though, and it was at a what seemed like a freakishly low rate of speed for it to be flying and banking and doing things like that. So yeah. Attaining oneness. Rock God, what do you think of Osea TV today? Was 558.32 million shares. Osea? Oh man, I don't. Osea shares. Osea Biomedical. They went from 22 cents all the way down to 12 cents, back up to 18 cents. Advances in cancer immunotherapy. So they had some sort of announcement. Look at these spikes. Look at this. 15 to 23 to 14 to 22 to 15. What a weird, but overall down. So it was at 80 cents and it's worked its way down. So it was steady at $1 for quite a while there. Big spike in March of last year. $10 stock, $10 stock, $10 stock. Things go crazy. Huh. So they have some sort of lung cancer thingy going on. Cure, treatment, whatever. Weird price action, that's for sure. What's up, dude? Come say hi. Come on. Ow, it's my thigh. All right. Fluffy cat karaoke. Here. All right. Upside down cat. Yes. There you go. That's where you want to be. Oh yeah. Look at that face. Oh, you little purr machine. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh. You kick your leg. You gonna kick your leg? Kick your leg. Oh, that's it. Kick your leg. Kick it like a puppy. Yes. All right. Was it SR-71 Blackbird? No, it was not an SR-71 Blackbird. I have seen those before. Those are very loud. When I was a kid, they called them habus in Okinawa because they kind of shaped like the habu snake head. But yeah, I got to see one of those when I was a kid in Okinawa, and that was really cool. That was like a lifer. Look at you, your stupid little tongue sticking out. Look at that little tongue right there. Little derp cat. Little derper. Lobi, Apple Maps still calling it the correct name, Gulf of Mexico. Thanks, Tim Apple. Yeah, Google switched the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America because they're a bunch of pushovers. But if you're in Mexico, it's still called the Gulf of Mexico. What a bunch of milquetoast weenies. My gosh, I'm playing both sides. True Seeker. We all know Trump, right? They'll pull all the pins and it would get tied up in the courts for the next 4 years. In the meantime, it's all implemented. Bingo. They get tied up in the courts, and by then everyone will be like sent adrift, and there'll be no one to come back to jobs because they'll have found something else or committed suicide or died or whatever. And then we'll just be left with the carnage that they all created and designed, right? Right, buddy? That's right. That's right. Hey, monkey. How are you, bud? You good? Are you a good dog? Are you a good dog, monkey? All right. Ronnie E92. Ryan Cohen doing the Warren Buffett. He waiting on the sidelines to strike. Yeah, but like Warren Buffett still makes plays in the meantime. So. Alex Bishop says Ryan choked, dropped the mic and left. Or chalked? Choked? 64, AI can run diggers and backhoes. We already have to remove the human operators. I'm sure everything they're doing is being run through AI. Best will be mechanics sent out by robot overlords. Beep, beep, boop. Yep. What are you going to do, Kitty, when they replace the cats with AI? Yeah? Who are like... oh, little brain turns off so hard when you scratch the ears right there. Look at that. She can't think. She's absolutely done for. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shake it off. There you go. Little derper, you know, little derp cat with a little tongue sticking out. Dizzy, I'm tired. Tinfoil, Orion Cohen, pull the damn trigger. We need payday. Yes. Seriously. Like, see how much damage the Trump administration has done in 3 weeks? Buddy, you can be doing that to the shorts the entire time. Like, pull the trigger, dude. Pull the trigger. Citizen54, who could lead a general strike? AOC, Bernie, not Hakeem Jeffries. No, who could not. Good Lord, he's terrible. He's the robot congressman from Parks and Rec. Yeah. Did anyone this? Osea has options chain. Oh, really? What is the options chain for Osea? Let's take a look at that real quick. Oops. Doing this one-handed. Apparently I'm terrible at that. Options chain. Ocean Biomedical options chain. Man, their options chain is at $2.5 and above. That's not good for anybody. So a stock that's trading at 18 cents. All their options are at $2.5 and above. No 50-cent options or anything. What about March? 2.5 and above. April, 50 cents. Okay, so you want 50-cent options. There you go. That's the lowest they have for April. And the bid is $0. The ask is 10 cents. How on earth supply volatility 450% for that? All right, what about July? Nope, April's the only one with 50 cents. So you want to get in on this sucker. There's 944 contracts out there. Right? Right, little buddy? Woo, yahoo! Interesting. There's only 2 contracts for 50-cent puts. Crazy. Seems like that's where it's been for a long time, right? Right, monkey butt? Right? 3/4? Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the monkey butt. All right. Frozen Productions, I tried buying a GTII, but Fidelity said experts only for opening trades. Got tried on Schwab. Schwab don't give a shit. Akeem, Teddy Ruxpin, Jeffries. Darren Saunders, hey Houston, what do you make of RC hanging out with Saylor? Is Bitcoin Reserve in Jamie's future, or is he just talking blockchain with him? They'll try to make a lot out of it. I have a friend who is a fairly high up executive at MicroStrategy, and he said he's going to ask Saylor if he can have permission to come on the show and talk about MicroStrategy. He knows that I don't like Saylor and that I probably wouldn't be the nicest interview, and he's like, well, we'll see. So that is, I give it like a 10% chance of actually happening. I think that 5 years ago, Ryan Cohen was a bit of an outsider billionaire. No one really knew who he was. They knew about Chewy, but he wasn't really a persona that people knew about. And since then, the other billionaires have sort of surrounded him, and he's become one of their group. And I think that is what is happening. That, these grand ideas of I'm going to burn the system down have been replaced with Trumpism, neo-monarchy, Curtis Yarvin stuff. That's what I'm afraid of. And that's why I think his wife may be like cutting the cord, is that she doesn't like what's become of him these last few years as a result of all that. So yeah, that's my feeling anyway. I have no idea if he's going to do a Bitcoin strategy. I don't know. I mean, 97% of Bitcoin is already owned by 1% of wallets. So if you're going to do that strategy, you're going to jack the price up, right? If you do $4 billion in Bitcoin purchases, yeah, the price is going to go up. And then what? You concentrate now 1% of wallets control 99% of Bitcoin. Then who's going to buy it? Right? It's the most centralized economy there is. It's pretty crazy. For trying to create something like championing decentralization, having things like MicroStrategy and ETFs and everything else associated with Bitcoin, centralizing it, let it be controlled by the few, seems to defeat the entire purpose of the experiment, in my opinion. That's supposed to be a currency, not a security. And we're treating it like a security and not a currency. So it's failed. In my opinion, that means Bitcoin's failed. That if it's only used as speculation, then really what are you using it for, man? What's its point? It is tulips. That's what it is. So it might work in the long run. I think if the United States does break down into some sort of civil strife, civil war, it won't matter. People won't give a shit about Bitcoin because your internet will be out, your phone lines will be out. It'll just be pure chaos and electricity. And what good is it? So you're gonna need like hard currency in that point. So I don't know. It says before, John Oliver is with Jon Stewart. The boys are back in town. Millie McWoolhead, I can't trade GTI and Schwab either. Huh. And all the way up, have you seen Puma Punku reconstructions? Thoughts? Interdimensional beings? Puma Punku? Punku? Puma Punku. Ancient Malians, megalithic stones of Puma Punku. Puma Punku. 6th century. Come on, Wikipedia. All right. 6th century T-shaped, strategically lined, man-made terrace platform mound with sunken court, monumental structure on top, part of the Puma Punku complex in Tiwanaku in western Bolivia. Puma Punku complex is a collection of plazas, ramps centered to Puma Punku platform mound. Today, only the ruins of monumental complex on top of the Puma Punku platform mound remain. Okay. There you go. I mean, these are very square rocks, that's for sure. It's like excavations going on here. I mean, cool. Aliens? No. No. Interdimensional beings? No. Just some very exact rock cutting. That's what it looks like to me. Humans did this, and they're very exact with it. So yeah. All right. All right. Well, I'm at the end of the chat. I've done an hour and 20 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully with no monkey bleed outs so that I can, live my life, right, monkey? Right, dude? Okay. Catch you guys tomorrow. Leave on Puma Punku. I'll, give me some more money. I'll go visit this place and I'll poke the rocks and I'll tell you exactly what's going on with them. How about that? All right. After dark. Peace out, Girl Scout. Have a good time. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bolivia. Not India. Bolivia. I have to readjust the language. Super Gotta do some re-rapping. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. I'll catch you tomorrow. Hit the button, right?